pixels, power the past. We're jumping in, we're moving fast. Blast from the screen like it's 92. Joystick dreams are coming true. It's not just a game, it's a memory lane. With turbo tunes in a pixel rain. Turrican charging, Lemmings lead. We're diving into retro deep. YindyPlayZ, the retro ride begins. Back to the start where the magic lives in. Amiga's alive, the classics ignite. With heart and power, we're streaming tonight. YindyPlayZ, crank up the sound. Adventure, action all around. From alien breeds to Harlequin skies, it's the early 90s in disguise. Space Crusade, we're locked and loaded. Every sprite so deeply coded. Dad by my side in a pixel dream. Now I play on for the memory team. So grab your chips, it's game on now. Before the war, we'll take a vow. With turbo bees and shadow nights, we're keeping those childhood sparks alive. YindyPlayZ, it's retro to the core. Kicking down that floppy disk door. Time travel style through circuits and sparks. Lighting up the stream with digital hearts. YindyPlayZ, where legends play. The A500 live today. So press start and don't delay. It's YindyPlayZ, we're on our way. Power up the past, relive the gold. Where every game has a story told. It's not just play, it's history made. On YindyPlayZ, the retro ride begins. Back to the start where the magic lives in. Amiga's alive, the classics ignite. With heart and power, we're streaming tonight. YindyPlayZ, crank up the sound. Adventure, action all around. From alien breeds to Harlequin skies, it's the early 90s in disguise. Wake up the pixels, power the past. We're jumping in, we're moving fast. Blast from the screen like it's 92. Joystick dreams are coming true. It's not just a game, it's a memory lane. With turbo tunes in a pixel rain. Turrican charging, Lemmings lead. We're diving into retro deep. YindyPlayZ, the retro ride begins. Back to the start where the magic lives in. Amiga's alive, the classics ignite. With heart and power, we're streaming tonight. YindyPlayZ, crank up the sound. Adventure, action all around. From gold, where every game has a story told. It's not just play, it's history made. On YindyPlayZ, the retro ride begins. Back to the start where the magic lives in. Amiga's alive, the classics ignite. With heart and power, streaming tonight. YindyPlayZ, crank up the sound. Adventure, action all around. From alien breeds to Harlequin skies, it's the early 90s in disguise.
Hello, lovely people. How are we all doing? And welcome to a very special edition of YindyPlayZ. For this is hopefully the first of many retro streams that I hope to do. And particularly, I wanted to start off where it all began. I know Father's Day was technically last weekend, although my dad, who is still with us, although he's not doing too hot at the moment, he was the one who got me into gaming, and through that, as we will explore tonight, my love of Warhammer 40k and everything that came along with that, basically a crippling addiction to plastic. Anyway, so growing up, when I was but a wee lad, I used to watch my dad play the Amiga 500 through a crack in the living room door. Such classic games as Space Hulk, which a small, terrified 4-year-old version of me really shouldn't have been exposed to, but yet scarred me for life and lived rent-free in my head, especially over the more modern Space Hulks, as again we will get to kind of later on tonight. And he introduced me to gaming on the Amiga, so we never had a Super Nintendo or a NES, or, you know, eventually we got things like Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff like that, but the Amiga was where it started for me. You know, then we moved on to kind of like PC gaming for a bit, in the boom of PC gaming in the 90s. But the Amiga was my starting point with Dad. And a lot of the games that I've kind of got listed for tonight are games that I played with Dad, and have very kind of fond, soft spots for me, and I've been wanting to relive them. So yeah, my thought is I'm going to stream this tonight. I'm going to stream a load of these games that I used to play with Dad, and then after the stream, download it, edit it together, and have a little kind of highlight clip compilation that I could watch with him, and hopefully that makes his day. So that's the plan anyway. So, in terms of what we are playing exactly, well, first of all, we'll start off with the kind of physical tech. My dad still has, and I know where it is, the original Amiga 500 that we played. However, there was that little boom a little while ago, that kind of gimmicky thing where they did all the little mini consoles. And, I almost picked it up for him as this kind of mini kind of Christmas present. So it's a replica of the A500, called the A500 Mini. It's... When I showed the missus it, she went, "That keyboard's tiny. How are you meant to type on that?" Well, you're not, right? It's a scaled down, basically an emulator. And for anyone who's interested in kind of classic retro games, it comes with 25 games already on it. Some of them certified classics. A lot of them I never heard of. There were a lot of games for the Amiga. However, for a price tag of 120 quid, at least in the UK on Amazon, the 25 games that are included here, not worth it. It's more the kind of novelty of this. However, the thing that does make it worthwhile is, now, admittedly, you can do this for free if you are good with emulation and you're quite kind of tech happy yourself. You can get a USB stick, you can download a whole bunch of windload files and create a USB stick with loads of Amiga emulated games. Or, on Amazon, there was a guy selling 1,400 games for 15 quid on a USB. So if you want to just plug and play and take the legwork out of it for 15 quid, which, let's face it, is probably the price of the stick, then there we go. So, through this, we actually have a pretty comprehensive catalogue of most Amiga games, a lot of which were the ones I wanted to kind of show off tonight. So there we go. So with that kind of being the case, now I just want to quickly test my audio before we get too far into it, because I was aware that there was a bit of an issue with the audio last night. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. Okay, so I think I sorted my OBS settings there. So I'm going to play through the games, usually to about when I die or when I run out of lives or continue. So these are the 25 games that come with the Amiga 500. So of all of them, again, there was something about particularly the 16-bit era that was just so evocative. Particularly the gaming music, I think, peaked here around the kind of early 90s. So, of the games that we had, the controller that did come with the A500 is a little bit dodgy. It keeps pressing A randomly for me, but we come out. Battle Chess, I maybe remember that. I don't think I ever played it. California Games, no, don't remember that one. 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 Nope. Speedball was apparently a really kind of big one, but it's not one that we had, I think. Another World, I think I remember that one. Alien Breed, the original, the classic. We will get to Alien Breed. That will be a highlight of what we will be playing tonight. We might even start off with Alien Breed, actually. Pinball was apparently quite good. Again, never kind of really owned it. Kind of remember Quacks. Simon the Sorcerer, again a classic. I've already streamed all of Simon 1 here. The thing is, the Amiga version is not fully voiced, or not voiced at all. It is just the kind of music and kind of text adventure. So if you're going to play it, I highly recommend you play the PC version, voiced by the amazing Chris Barry, who was Rimmer and Red Dwarf. Zool, we had Zool, or basically Chupa Chops, the game. And then I think we're kind of back to it. Oh, and Chaos Engine, that was another one. Yeah, me and Dad played that one a little bit. So, and then we're back to the Media Stick. So, let's start off with Alien Breed, I think. I think Alien Breed deserves to be our kind of starting point tonight. Now, a big thing, obviously it's a rip-off of Aliens. But me and my dad used to play this all the time in two-player mode. But, developer / publisher of this game, Team 17, remember them, they're going to come up quite a lot in this stream. They're still about. They're a respected company, and they're producing games like Overcooked and the Blasphemous game, which I love in those days. Because Team 17 is going strong. But this is kind of where they started, and as we will quickly see, yeah, this is a game of its time. So, we'll jump straight in. Again, the music is just hearing that kind of background music, or just the ambient noise. So, here's a little thing. In terms of my early memories, I remember playing me and my dad. You'd have the red player and the green player. Now, for me, I always thought these were like little moth kind of creatures, you know, just the kind of perspective, like some little dude with wings. Obviously, we're looking kind of head down. Now, this is the bit that I want to get to, okay? So if you go up to this console, right, and you type in, this is the bit of the game where you're able to buy extra tools, extra supplies, all that kind of stuff, right? However, you can also input the cheat codes here, because this was the time before DLCs and all this, where along with the Amiga and all with the game, Dad used to have all these massive manuals of cheat codes where you would actually, like encyclopedias, this is pre-internet as well, and look up the cheat code for the game. Now, Alien Breed was a small team, so Do not cancel me, is all I'm saying. Do not cancel me. This is legit 100% the cheat codes for Alien Breed. Right. Skip to level 3. I can't be arsed playing the first levels. Fair enough. Skip to level 6. Manchester United can't fly airplanes. Weird. Unlimited keys. Oh, give me some keys, I've got a hard on. So you were meant to type this in here on the keyboard. Reverse joystick controls, pissed as a fart. Now we're getting to the controversial ones. For weaker weapons, I'm going to have to bleep these out on stream. The Iraqis made these weapons. Make player invisible. Salman Rushdie plays Alien Breed. Expert aliens, pit bulls on the loose. Unlimited health. I do apologise for this one. Aliens are, and a very offensive slang word for a gay gentleman beginning with F. And my actual personal favourite, which is skip to level 5. I wonder if Dolly Parton's fanny is as big as her tits. That is legitimately the codes for Alien Breed. So I will not be typing those in here just now, but if you can absolutely emulate all these games for free. I think Amiga Player, Amiga Game Selector, they're quite good. It's kind of like a software that you download that has all the Amiga games, so including all the Alien Breeds. So we can certainly kind of do that. So obviously it's a kind of a knockoff of Alien. Again, I love. One thing I have noticed about these particular games, opposed to things like on the SNES or Genesis, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, that sort of thing, no time limits, which is quite good. So you can actually take your time. But I think what the Amiga particularly did so well is ambience, the music, or just the kind of background kind of sound effects, that kind of low hum. Oh shit! Again, these sound effects live rent free in my head. So you get so many keys, and then now if you don't type in the cheat codes, you've only got like so many keys that you have to choose which ones you try to go into. Some health. Got some gold bars up here. Cool. Awesome. So we'll grab that one. Beepity. So in terms of where the aliens spawn, they spawn directly just off screen and wander on, so there's no kind of like spawn point for them, which can be a little bit annoying. Now, when playing these games, it was years later Dad admitted to me that he didn't know how to save a lot of these games, and he would literally have to play them over and over again and play them from start to finish because he didn't know how to save them, and he completed many games this way. Now, in later life, when both me and my sister were older, we would during COVID we played with Dad more or less every day. We played Halo, we played Destiny, mainly shooters, that sort of thing. So we went to the Borderlands games and stuff like that. And particularly on Destiny, both me and my sister used to facepalm all the time as Dad walked off cliff after cliff after cliff. It was a very common sight on Halo for him to wander off the edge of the map. He was not good at spatial awareness, shall we say. However, as again you will see throughout the stream, these games are fucking brutal. Like, honestly, some of the platforming in this is obviously not Alien Breed, but some of the other ones are just so unforgiving that I actually have a completely new respect. Turrican is one we'll get to. I do have Turrican on the Switch, and I do plan on playing through Turrican, And to be perfectly honest, I would probably play that version for the simple
Player
reason.
1 requires first aid.
Yeah, okay. I'm not doing too well. Did you? The aliens, they just want a hug. So yeah, my dad not knowing how to save a game makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, you know, we had to literally do all his armor and his gear upgrades and stuff on Destiny. However, going back and actually playing these games as an adult, I suddenly realised, holy shit, a lot of them don't have save functions. Okay, a lot of them, again, that cheat code book we were talking about earlier, you would go in, like, there's the level skip codes. Ow!
Player
Jesus.
1 requires first aid.
Yeah, okay. This is me doing the talking. Okay, right. Here they come. Here they come. Ah! Yeah, I've got enough keys. Cool. Shit. Key. No. Shit. These aliens sort of remind me of just like spiders. Ah! Oh, damn it. Damn it. Oh, shit. Okay, I've got another life. We're good. We're okay. We are okay. We are okay. Oh, shit. Ah! Leave me alone. Okay, we could have just, if we had enough keys, we could have just skipped them. There we go. So yeah, a lot of these games are actually really short. If you look up long play, particularly of Alien Breed, I think it's only like 43 minutes. Actually, although it is brutally hard as nails. So that's obviously what they were trying to get at. Oh, there's one of the spawn points. So I think in this one, you have to like blow up the dome. The alien spawn hole. And then a timer starts and you've got to get out in time. That's one of those. Ah, here we go. Yeah, you destroyed that, I think. Destroy any more? What is that way? Do we want to go that way? No, I think we want to go this way. Okay, we'll go this way. This is also when games used to come with like small textbooks on how to play them. So, before the time of integrated tutorials, a lot of these games, you literally had to read the fucking manual if you wanted any chance of being able to beat the damn things. Okay, we will go shit. Let's move it. Ow. Okay. Oh, there's a terminal. Right. Do I have enough to buy any new interesting weapons?
Welcome to Intex Systems.
No, I don't have enough of that. Tools and supplies. Remote location scanner. Let's just pick up the key packs. Yeah. Can't go wrong with more key packs. I think the aliens, if they... Oh, no, shit, they could wander through too. Shit. I thought they got zapped if they... Okay. Ow. So yeah, they just keep coming. Shit. Open that door. Okay. think there's one more of those doors that would look fun. There it is, over there. Cool. And okay. This might. No? Is there one more? Must be one more. Shit. Shit. Okay, we're alright, we're alright. Right, docking lifts. Now we've been that way, we've been up there. Okay, I think we've been this way. And yeah, there it is.
Player 1 requires first
Yeah,
aid.
yeah.
Warning. Destruction imminent.
Ah!
Warning. Destruction imminent.
I think I've got enough life.
Warning. Destruction imminent.
I think this is the docking lift. Yes! So like I said,
Player 1
apparently
requires
there is
first aid.
actually a story to all this. But other than, you know, kill aliens. Right, we're doing alright. We're doing alright. Ah, shit, there we go. Yeah, there goes another one of my lives. Ow. Don't mind me, sir. I'm really not doing that here. There we go. One thing I maybe will invest for this particular system, it's about 25 quid, it's like an old school USB joystick for the Atari. So I think, because me and Dad we used to always play on joysticks, this is a control pad, so it's not quite the same experience. No, there's more. I get more keys for going in there. Ow. Right, there's a med pack there. No point using it. Yeah, another key. Shit. Shit. Was that me who did that? Did I lock myself out there? Security me. Fuck.
Player 1 requires first aid.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if that was me or not. Because I knew the security doors were a thing. Oh, I've used it. Might as well.
Player 1 requires first aid.
Oh well, we're on our last life already. Okay. Nothing else. I can test out the security door. Okay, that closes the security doors. Although if I locked myself in here, I think I've locked myself in here. Shit. I can't actually get out of here, can I?
Player
Damn it.
1 requires first aid.
No, I don't think I can. I think this is last stand territory. Shit. No! There we go. Ah. Well, like I said, you can always slap on the cheat codes and go through it. I might do that one afternoon. But now, let's get to some of the more interesting games that I kind of wanted to play and talk about. One particular one that is very nostalgic to me, and actually kind of solidified my love of theatre, dressing up, that sort of thing, was Harlequin. Hello! That's the missus complaining about my shirt again. It's comfortable and light breezy. The one I was wearing last time's in the wash. So, Harlequin and Gremlin Studios as well. I think they're defunct now. They went through a few different ones, but they put out a lot of games for the Amiga. And Harlequin was one of my personal favourites as a kid. It's surreal as fuck, but that's kind of why I loved it, and the music in it as well. And also, I watched a long play of it last night, and I got to the end, and again, to just show you how far games have come, where a small army of people work on a AAA title that costs millions and millions of dollars, versus a small team of like 4 or 5 folk who put out a game, and in the credits they thank their mum and dad, which I thought was really, really sweet. So yeah, that's where gaming was still a kind of new frontier. The rules hadn't been set yet, so every game on this list does something slightly different. Now, this particular world map, if you like, I always thought that looked like a church or a tower with lips. I don't know if they're meant to be lips, but yeah. So the graphics, maybe nothing to write home about. This game is a little awkward to control on this particular gamepad, but the music, oh my god, the music. So again, no integrated tutorials. But what I found sort of interesting about the design philosophy of Harlequin. So, you know, games like Sonic and Mario are riding high at this point. So your classic kind of platformer is go right until you reach the end of the level. Not so in Harlequin. Instead, what you have to do is, throughout the game world, and I mean game world, there are all those little switches, and quite often, these switches will open gates and things in other maps, so there's a lot of backtracking in Harlequin. So I hit that switch there. Shit. That's done. So I already hit that one. Quite a Metroidvania. Oh shit, no, come back! Shit. Someone stop hurling clocks at me. Here, feel the love, feel the love. Ow. So to do this. So the game has this very theatrical kind of, not cutesy, but whimsical kind of feel to it. You know, where you get tea cakes and buns and stuff like that, and you fire hearts at the enemy and they explode into delicious treats. So you basically love bomb everything. Burgers restore your health. Also, the fact that Harlequin had a ponytail was one of the reasons why I grew my hair long as a kid. There were many of my childhood heroes that had long hair, including my dad, who used to rock a ponytail before also adopting the bald skinhead. Other ones being Tommy the White Ranger, Jason David Frank. So you can see the platforms beginning to get narrower and narrower. Now, that one wasn't quite so bad. So you would think that in a normal sort of game, right, we were established we're going up the way. So I don't want to spend too much of my life trying to go up. Ow. Me bum. So, I've fallen down to the bottom. Oh no! But wait, look. This has opened up. So we do go back to the top of the tower, but not till later on. And this is where, again, there's just something weird about the tone of early Amiga games. So you've gone from this very whimsical kind of clock tower to this kind of dark, almost Geiger-esque kind of workshop with like, what the fuck is that machine thing chomping away? I mean, that gave me nightmares as a kid. So we come down here. Try not to land in front of it. And we... There we go, got it. So I think when this mouse moves, it's fine. Yeah. So, before we actually do go, you see how there's a little exit sign there? So, you would think that's where we're trying to get to. However, as I discovered last night, there's actually more... All the levels are sort of open-ended. And there's different ways to get about. So, to get to that arrow, you have to go through here. Good little thing. It's just... I just love that. Now again, it's all, every single one is like the box art, to the manual art, to everything else. The Harlequin's always depicted as slightly different. But his actual, like, in-game sprite, to me, looks like he's just wearing sunglasses. Right, so get up there, base. Right, okay. Over here. Again, that weird sort of like worm thing. No! Shit! So yeah. The controls are quite floaty, which is... Oh, I made that somehow. I made that up there, damn it. Crap. Which, as you will see, will be an issue later on. Now again, I've seen long plays of this, where I think the whole game's only about 2 hours long, if you're good at it, and I'm sure there are people who are good at it. Come on, yeah! The fact that when you jump, you kind of stay in motion. It's one of those switches. Yeah. Nice. Right, so if I am correct, Harlequin does not like getting wet. Now, considering I've not actually died yet, this is actually quite impressive. Right, this is where things start to get interesting. And I may have to give up on Harlequin because I was trying this last night, and what you need to do here is nothing short of bullshittery. So, you see the fact that if I just don't do anything, we move inherently backwards. So, there's a gust of air pushing us back. So, if we come all the way down here now. Yay, get some help. Also, enemies respawn off camera, so even if you take them out, yeah, that's so good. They just spin around you and damage enemies without you having to do anything. Okay, and cakes, some tasty treats, another present box down there. So, where we need to actually get to, that is there. Only problem is, it's currently locked. We need to get the switch for it. I think if you manage to collect enough stuff, you get a new life. Now, remember those platforms directly above us. Again, I love this so much. Okay, another space hopper. I've never been good at using space hopper. If I could only get him. If only. Now, when I was playing this last night, Harlequin was actually quite glitchy. And I don't think my dad fully completed Harlequin. I think he said to me he was able to like glitch through the map at one point, and it sort of tricked the game. He basically speedran it. So the switch we need is 1, 2. Not so bad so far. Shit. Okay, missed that one. And bearing in mind, you've also got to factor in the wind speed. So if you're going in the direction, you're going much faster than... Ah, shit. Fuck. One. Two. That switch there, that's the one that we need. And you just see how smaller and smaller they get. And then if you fail, you end up kind of way back here. So I could spend hours trying to get that. Now, I did work out that actually, if I pause it, I think, did this work? Okay, maybe not. I know if you do this, in fact, I'll get up there first. Right. Whee! Yeah, when I was playing last night, I managed to fall through the floor there, and I got trapped underneath the level. So if you get about here, right? Now, with what I was saying earlier about saving the game, turns out you can save Harlequin. Oh, no, that's load. No. Shit. That's fine. Go. Save Harlequin 1. There we go. Oh, no, that was no. Try again. There we go. Yes, that's what I'm after. Press fire to continue. So hopefully that saved. Did it save? Or did it crash the game? Save complete. Yay! It did actually save the game. Just took a while. Okay. I'll try a couple more times. Right. Okay. Hit the switch. I hit the switch. Okay. Should be not quite as bad as I thought it would be. I'm actually quite impressed. This is as far as I've ever got by myself on Harlequin. Yeah, this is where I got trapped into that. Oh, this is where you have to. Right, so that space hopper is kind of a thing, but again, I'm never really good at the space hopper. Oh, no, we're up. Oh, I wasn't. Oh, the bounce pads, right. Hey. I mean, space hopper is very difficult to use, but apparently you're meant to use it to like get to high, hard to reach places. Nah, I think I fucked it. Right. Anyway, that's as far as I've got with Harlequin. I would try that. Basically, at the top of this little bit here, there's another switch, and that turns on. Go higher. They do now. Yeah. If I don't do anything, it's like if I do try and do something, it doesn't really tell me. Doing this all night. So there is a way to save Harlequin actually in the game. But, oh well. Right. What you can do though on the Amiga 500, which is pretty neat, is you've got save game states. So we can pop that in there. Now, it only lasts as long as like it's plugged in. So if you, like me, and you stick it away, then basically you have to keep it powered on until you're ready to use it again. But that was Harlequin. So let's do another one. One that stuck with me very much as a child. So I have a feeling we're not going to be playing this one for very long because it is notoriously difficult. Where are we? There we go. Space Hulk. The original. None of this Space Hulk Deathwing nonsense on Steam. This is where real men came to die in cramped claustrophobic corridors that they couldn't move, swing a cat in. Now, for all your fancy graphics and lovingly rendered Gene Stealer giblets, this Space Hulk is by far the scariest. I also love how like the iconography in that hasn't really changed like 40k. Like I have Deathwing Terminator models with that banner on them. Quite the original music I remember, but I remember seeing that as a 4-year-old, and that terrified me. So there is another animated version. This isn't quite the one that I remember. But if you look up Space Hulk intro on YouTube, you'll see that one. So they tried to make the Space Hulk game as claustrophobic and time sensitive and stressful for the Space Marine player as it was in the board game. Nope. One bad thing about Amiga controllers, I keep hitting home thinking that'll take it. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Welcome to the basic tutorial. Now, it should Your first mission is very simple. Try to find and free. So the Amiga 500 Mini should use wireless mouse and keyboard. Just to say, thank God, because playing this with a controller is just no. Even then, I'm going to ask absolutely hand to me. Marius Calga. One squad is over one squad. You move from the air to this area. Fear not our enemy, they are abominations. The Emperor has written the squad's weaponry. Interesting, he's in green Terminator armor. But yeah, even though this was the first Space Hulk game, it was very much from the point of view of the Deathwing, and it had the white Deathwing Terminator on the front.
Ready.
So yeah, this is the game. So you can sort of like freeze time randomly. So yeah, that's it. Here we go. So it's like mouse control. So you move up, move up, move up. But you also like had 5 guys, so you would swap between your Marines. So it's almost like a first-person shooter, but from the point of view of 5 different people, which is just a nightmare. So we're probably going to get our arse kicked, because it is an absolute nightmare. Oh, was that? Again, just those sound effects in the background. Like, again, as a child, I had nightmares of dream stealers. Doesn't help that the mouse is very floaty. Ooh, you can actually burst through the doors. That's cool. So me and Tavares had like a game of the original Space Hulk. And yeah, it's claustrophobic. Hey. Okay, so that was the tutorial. So it did actually have a tutorial. That's interesting. Right. I'm very much not going to survive very long. So that was the training mission. Can you listen to it? Start listening. Oh, training mission. Space Hulk. Select mission type, right. Space Hulk. This one original. 1 squad mission. 2 Let's go with suicide mission. Will it though? Yeah, deploy your squad here. Cleanse this area. Okay. Again, I could never get my head around the controls of the original Space Hulk. But it was always one I wanted to go back and... Yeah, so here we go. So we've got all our different dudes. So... we kind of like swap between them. So, do we, if we click that, okay, so we're not frozen anymore. Oh shit, no, don't. Okay. So I wonder. Oh shit! Ah shit! Oh well, he's gone. No shit! Shit! Okay, well that didn't last. That didn't last. So you see. All the Terminator armor in the world will not save you from a Team Steeler's rending claws. So, yeah, Space Hulk is ridiculously brutal. But, although I watched Space Hulk through the crack in the living room door with Dad, the one that I would play, and was probably the game I spent the most amount of time on, had to be... of course. Yeah. Space Crusade. Which I have the box board game of. And again, Gremlin again. So, same guys as Harlequin. Now, anyone in the 40k community want to have... Does anyone know why the Blood Angel Sergeant, and it's only the Blood Ranger, isn't quite power on. Never understood it. So as you can see, we've got our three classic OG Space Marine chapters. We've got Labour, Lib Devs, and Conservative. And in my head, I love that that's Marius Calgar. So this is where it all began. So as you can see, the mission I'm going to play for this, we'll pick all three squads. So that is the only crew option. And we can place your men. So it's designed to be people, and this game is totally playable today. Like you can easily port this to a phone, I think. There's one mission. There are reports of a very dangerous breed of aliens named the Soul Suckers. Why the Gene Stealers were called the Soul Suckers in this, I don't know. They're not called that in the board game, but alright. There's one. The Empire has failed to destroy all aliens on board alien vessels by using an exterminate germ virus, eliminate as many aliens as possible, and also getting range from other chapters. Has there's only enough antidote available to fellowship one marine chapter. Only one marine chapter. More than one. Yeah. So this is the one that's designed to play all four chapters against each other. So there can be only one. So will it be? No, probably won't do the full. Oh, we might try and speedrun it. So. So again, to me, the commander is always played by Steve Martin, as you can see kind of down there. So we want to move. So again, the mouse controls are a little bit chonky. Ah, the good old Heresy era rocket launchers. I'm currently equipping my Emperor's Children Heresy Legion with as many of the old style weapons, and I want to do a modern version of Space Crusade where I replace all the models with their current 40k counterparts. I think that would be awesome. Right, someone can do a sweep. Oh no, baddies. Right, there we go. And over to the Lib Dems. Right. Ed Davies takes the lead. Spearheading the social issues of the day. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of that. So I do actually have a Space Crusade video coming out that I've been working on. So I played through several of the missions, including this one. And I remember one of the first times that me and Dad played this. There's a random thing that can happen where one of the commanders gets given control over all the doors in the game. And this particular time me and Dad were playing, I think I was always the Blood Angels. I think he was the Ultramarines. I got given the door command. Now, it's the old rogue trader style dreadnoughts in this, which kind of look a little bit like the kind of small knights, like the if I was going to do like a dreadnought for Space Crusade, I'd do it using one of those knights, because that's how they looked. They weren't the boxy boys from 3rd edition. Click. So every squad is kitted out the same. You got your rocket launcher, you got your... I think that's a flamer. Oh, it's either flamer or plasma. I think in the board game that's plasma, but... sorry, flamer, but it acts more like plasma in this. Also, I don't know who this is meant to be. Which Chaos God. Oh. And Gretchen. Ah, it's one of those soul suckers. Armed with the bread knives. I also love how that Space Marine at the back's holding a giant cucumber. Hey. So, that's not a 23, that's a 2 and a 3. Basically, my sergeant absolutely should annihilate this guy. There we go. Nay chance, mate. Nay chance. Haha, ping. I think you need a 3 or higher. So it's Blood Angels now. So I think our sergeant will pop down here and engage in a little hand-to-hand. There we go. That's fine. Oh shit, he actually might have done alright. Nope. For Sanguinius. Next up. Okay. So far the Lib Dems seem to be chilling. They're just vibing. There's not much going on down there with them. Right. Round we go. I also love that when the Space Marines get killed, there's just a pair of smoking boots. There we go. So I think we're basically all racing to the middle. I think that's kind of what we're all about here. Yeah. So after we... I absolutely decimated Tavares at Space Hulk. The actual board game Space Hulk. I booted up the Amiga 500 and we had a game of this. And it's absolutely playable kind of couch co-op. It's just a bit of a fiddly mouse. There we go. Oh, did I miss the... Oh, he's out. Ammo. Great. Did he even get to fire? Now, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure that the Gretchens actually have enough firepower to even hurt the Marines. Even if they roll like their best. Right, he's rolled pretty bad. So, I could re-roll it, but let's see if that's enough. Ooh, the Gretchen survives. Okay. Blood Angel, head down this way. Also, he can do his little radar thing. Yeah, plenty of bods about. So, I don't want to spend too long on Space Crusade. Because like I said, I do have a full video coming out, and I've actually recorded me playing through several of the levels that I will kind of speed up, including this one. So, I think that's probably what we'll do there. But yeah, absolutely playable today. I would love to see a modern reboot of Space Crusade, and not that one they tried to kickstart where it wasn't even 40k. It was Space Crusade, but with loads of space studs with their tits out for some reason, because that's what we were missing. So yeah, Space Crusade. I get probably my entry point into Warhammer as well. So, in terms of other games, before I get to like the big one, I want to play for a bit. Right, there was one. Now I can never pronounce the name of this one. But it really stuck with me. And again, it was another. I want to say it was another Team 17 venture. I put it on the. Where's the thing? I roughly know how to spell it. It's the one where you get turned into a giant wasp, and it's kind of this weird anime bullshit thing. Asperia? AP. Okay, right. AP. That's it. That's the one. That's it there. Yeah. So some weird random anime bullshit. But again, I remember the artwork in it being pretty awesome. So if I hold off, hopefully we'll get the intro. So apparently this is the second one in the series. There was one before. I don't know if it ever got released in Europe. Commander just forces to wreak havoc on the peace-loving couple. So you would think this would be a kind of sword and sorcery, storm the dark castle, kind of Castlevania type venture. I mean, again, as a 4-year-old, that was brutal. Again, randomly, he gets turned into a wasp. Nope. Okay, gotta remember it's not start. Okay. Lives 5. level. Yeah. There's no shame in going easy. There really is no shame. Control pad. The lowest number. These games are fucking difficult. There we go. But again, the music and the art style of it. So, we play as this random wasp. It's basically a bullet hell type adventure. What's this got to do with the Dark Lord who killed our missus? Again, I have no idea. Why that mushroom is firing other mushrooms at us? Again, I have no idea. Okay. I mean, all I'm saying is, Cuphead, eat your heart out. Shit. Damn it. At least in Cuphead, get hit 3 times, not in this. Shit, damn it. Also, I love how there's like a player 2 as well. Not that many. And that was on easy. Yeah. Again, that's another game that I remember really distinctly for that kind of opening sequence, but then getting to the first level and getting my ass handed and going, how is this connected? Even as a child, I had so many questions. Right. Oh, go on. We're gonna do a classic next, I think. Let's have a classic. Now, I am originally from Dundee, Scotland, same place that did the original Grand Theft Autos, but they are also known for another little game which influenced a young me even more so. And I love that how in Dundee there is a wall with 3 bronzed lemmings walking round them. I can never pronounce the name of that studio, but they were known for a lot of, like Team 17, a lot of the weird and wacky games from this time. It is impossible to be sad when playing Lemmings. They are my spirit animal. Outwardly cheery and chronically suicidal. We need so many more Lemmings games. Right. Just dig. So again, this one kind of uses the mouse. So. Now again, it was the music in Lemmings that really made it for me. Alright, okay. So a lot of people liked Worms, but for me it was Lemmings. Just one Lemmings kind of going, nah, fuck you guys, I'm going my own way. Now, as people who have been watching the streams for a while, they know I always name my kind of knight character Lomax. And that is from The Legend of Lomax, which was technically a Lemmings game on the PlayStation, and I had it on PC. I've actually got it emulated on the Steam Deck. I'll need to play that on stream at one point. But it was of a slightly different era, so we'll kind of leave that just now. Right. 1, 2, 3. No! I wasn't quick enough. Shit. Did I save enough? Damn you! Floaty mouse controls. Right, I rescued 70% of them. It's fine. It's fine. Those ones were dicks. Right, okay. Now, this music. It's apparently called Tim 2, and I'm quite interested to see if YouTube picks this up as copyrighted music, because I would so use this music all the time in the streams and just background. I know Jay Foreman actually uses it in some of his videos. I've noticed it. I really wanted to learn to play this one on piano. There we go. Right, I think we're good. Yay! There we go. You can speed them up. So I grew up watching Dad play the Amiga when I was younger, and must have been only about between 4 and 6, so I was very limited in what I could play. Things that were more puzzly, that were slower paced, turn-based. I didn't have the reflexes for more complex games. It wouldn't be until we moved to kind of PC gaming around about the time my sister was born, sort of 95, 96, that I then started getting into games like Dungeon Keeper and the sort of PC boom. Now, I think... Right. How do I get you guys? I think I just have to blow you guys up, is that how this works?
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh no! Your sacrifice shall be remembered, brothers. I mean, why can't we just get a nice wee port of Lemmings? Right. So I think the way this works. So the levels start off very simple, but as you see, we'll very much start to get more complex. Wait until we start coming back the other way. Oh, no, there's still one doing his own thing. There's actually a way to lose this one. It like gave you just everything that you needed. I think these are still technically the tutorial levels. So you've got climber, umbrellas for slow fall, exploder, sacrifices 11 that creates a little detonation. Blockers, they build paths up. So, don't know what that one does. There's a digger and then there's the pickaxe that goes at a diagonal, I think. There was another game, which is one of the few Amiga games I've not been able to find. On it. The boy's on it. Just come back in. I think that's it. And I always thought it was a Lemmings game, but apparently it wasn't because the oh my god, hold on. Shit. No, they're fine. Come on, you can do it, lads. Yeah. So a lot of the Amiga games were very slow paced, but Lemmings, as you can see, there's actually you go through it quite a fair clip. And I think they kept releasing more and more levels for them, and again this is pre-internet, like in magazines and stuff. I remember going with Dad to Electronic Boutique before it became Game in the UK, and all the kind of cereal boxes with the old Amiga games and everything. Oh, we appear to be in a Mario level. How fun. Don't know how that helps me. Separate Whee! Okay. So if you get to there, oh shit.
Oh no!
Okay, this is where it's getting a little bit more complicated. Right. So you've got to time it. Maybe right here. 4, 3, 2, shit.
Oh no! Oh no!
Ah, fuck. Fucked it. Nah. Damn it. Oh well. Well, we were going to play until we were done anyway. So that's Lemmings knocked off. Again, I want to do a proper kind of like full playthrough of Lemmings. Okay, before we get to one of the ones that stuck out in my head for the longest, we need to, if we're talking classic games, we need to tackle this one next, I think. Now, there were 3 of them, but there was one that was clearly the front runner. Now, I will play through this fully at some point, but I'll probably do it on the Switch, because the Switch had a re-release, the Turrican collection. But for me, Turrican II. Again, the music, the art style. This game sort of remained with me for the longest time. Of course, on the Switch version, you've got kind of rewind and save states, which makes it all the more impressive. And getting back to when I was saying about Dad falling off things in Halo and Destiny, I'm like, you beat Turrican. Turrican is fucking difficult. So, a bit like that kind of waspy game, I'm going to let it play, because even though this was a Western developer, I always thought it was kind of like an anime game, and you'll see why. I kind of remember the intro sequence being quite anime. Also, I was introduced to Turrican before I was introduced to Metroid. So there are similarities between Turrican and Metroid. Not so much in the gameplay, other than the fact that both turn into the spinning little ball of death. Metroidvanias, Metroid much more of a puzzle game, much more methodical, turning into the ball to kind of like map out the levels and blah blah blah. Turrican's a run and gun. It's about clearing the screen and getting through as quickly as possible. So I think there's a few versions of Turrican. I want to say it was on the Mega Drive as well. Certainly 3 was. And then kind of had its own version. But if you're talking Turrican 1 and 2, the Amiga was the one most people remember. So I'm going to give it that little intro. I know if you leave it running on the Switch, you get it. Oh, is it? Here we go. 1,000 years from now. For decades, peace, freedom, and the rule of law in the galaxy, blah blah blah. 42 have been. Yeah, I never read any of this as a kid either. I just remember we had pink hair. So I love how this is basically the same setup as the Wasp game, but in space. Where we kind of look like a knockoff Power Rangers in space / Planetary Avengers. I think we're the purple haired guy. Again, the cutscene, if you like, compared to the rest of the game, always seems bizarre to me. Like they were done by 2 completely different studios. So looking at it now, it doesn't actually look that anime, but I remember it being very anime. Mainly because of the colours. Suddenly, in less than a nanosecond, a huge battle cruiser materialized in close proximity to the Avalon. Feels very space standard. Oh shit! Did it not give us the second part of that cutscene? It must be this version. There's another bit after where the ship gets boarded, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the guy with the pink hair, and you survive, and you crawl towards the Turrican suit. Okay, you gonna load on me? There we go. Already I'm doing so well. Okay, so that was your special move. Glad I didn't need that for later. Yeah, Switch version is easier to play. Fucking hell. Now again, me and Dad played this on the joystick. I was hoping to get to like the first boss. I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh fuck, I'm getting absolutely destroyed. I love how like the enemies are flying, are getting blown out of the cave. Yeah, it's that Harlequin problem where precise platforming in the breeze. Come on. No! Where's the way to go? Exit, there we go. So yes, Dad completed Turrican. Yeah! Yeah! Oh... I used to be a lot better than that. Please enter your name. No, I'd rather not have the embarrassment. Okay. So, other couple honourable mentions, I suppose, while we're here. Just quickly. We mentioned Zool earlier. Now, I remember Zool and Zool 2. I never had a particular fondness for it. It was a fairly bog standard, decent enough platformer. But, you know, for me it lacked the charm and the aesthetic of something like Harlequin. But yeah, it was clearly sponsored by Chupa Chups, which are still going strong today. I want to say Zool was maybe an arcade game. Okay. Fucking hell. Let's jump. Right. Let's try that again. Get any other game, you'd think you'd be able to crawl up. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, never really got into Zool, even though we technically owned it. Any of the other ones? Chaos Engine? Again, I played it with Dad sometimes, once or twice, but it was never one that stuck with me. I actually own this one on Steam. And it's perfectly playable on the Steam Deck. So, it was quite a good co-op couch co-op game. Again, it was the kind of art style of the different guys. Like this creepy fucker here. That's cool. And yeah, let's take you, Baldy. So again, if I was to play this one, I'd probably play it on PC.
Node activated.
Shit. So yeah, the game I was talking about that I started talking about, that was a bit like Lemmings, which I remembered. Now, I thought it was a Lemmings game. Oh shit, I died.
Layers activated.
Because it was like Lemmings. You had to basically direct the guys to the end of the level, and you would assign them kind of jobs to help clear a path for the rest of the troops. And they didn't have mouths, and they looked very kind of stylized. They looked like Lemmings, only without the green hair. But that kind of like... Shit. Again, I'm dying here. A mouth without... eyes and a mouth without a nose.
Layers activated.
But actually, it wasn't a Lemmings game. It was from the makers of the game I'm going to play after this, which was Valhalla, which was one of the first proper point-and-click adventure games. I say point-and-click. Certainly puzzle kind of strategy games. But again, what was very significant about Valhalla was, even though Monkey Island, Simon the Sorcerer and all that were also on the Amiga, their versions weren't voice acted. Well, the original Monkey Island wasn't voice acted. You wouldn't get that until the special edition. But Simon the Sorcerer was, but not the Amiga version. Damn it. Is that me? Am I done? Yeah, I'm done. But again, these games were made by, like, teams of 4 or 5 people. And you can kind of sense the anarchic punk energy in a lot of these games. Now, I tried playing this one last night. Dad had the box of this one, and I was terrified of clowns when I was a kid. And I remember seeing the box art for this one, and in that way where you're both fascinated by it, but also terrified. Clownomania. Oh, that was it. We'll see if it decides to boot. I couldn't get past the title screen when I booted it up last night, but we'll see if it decides to work. Again, it's kind of like a puzzler game. So it does boot, but I'm not sure it likes the A500 Mini that much. It's a very obscure game. But it was like this kind of clown collecting balls, but in a kind of black starless void. Again, it had a very surreal art style to it. Kind of early 3D. And again, you just the weird things that stick with you as a kid. Nah, I think it's crashed. Nah, don't think that one's working. Oh no, I've lost my Harlequin save. Bollocks. Right, okay. So, the next game I kind of wanted to play, and I'll probably play these to the end of the stream, I'm thinking, were of course Valhalla. Now, I loved the art style of these games, and they were the first point and click games on the Amiga to be fully voiced as well. I say fully, but you know, they had limited kind of voice, but there was always a kind of severe quality tone to them. So there's Before the War and Lord of Infinity, and I always get the two mixed up because the one that I played as a kid was the one where you play as Lord Infinity, but that's in Before the War. Lord of Infinity is the first Valhalla game that came out. Before the War is the prequel, and Infinity's the bad guy in Lord of Infinity. So I'll boot up and show you basically these games. I might have to restart the console because it sometimes gets a bit confused when you go from one to the other. But again, if you wanted a smooth Amiga gaming experience, probably do the PC emulation Amiga Game Selector. You play it on a Xbox 360 controller. But if you want the retro sort of feeling of the time, I mean, I'm looking at the Mini in front of me right now, and just the lights are in the same place, the red and the green of the loading. The only thing you're missing is the churning of the floppy disk drive that was very characteristic of it. Right, type word in page 5. So I think, thankfully, this is how old version DRM, you would have to go to the manual and type in the word on the manual. So I think they removed that in these. Something's going to happen. Something wonderful. It's really not. Vulkan software, that's the one. So the the game I was on about that Vulkan did, that was like Lemmings, was Timekeepers. And you had to go through different eras of history, from cavemen to medieval knights to modern day to futuristic sci-fi. And you had like a squad of guys, and you had to place them around the map. A bit like Lemmings, you had to assign them roles, and all the guys would follow the map from point A to point B. So it was very much a Lemmings clone, but with a time twist on it. And again, it had Vulkan's signature style. It's the one game I've not been able to find emulated and be able to play on. I don't think it's on Game Selector, and it wasn't on this stick for all the games I wanted to play.
I am the Prince of Valhalla. I have a sad story to tell. This castle was my home. I lived here with my family. We ruled over the land. My father was a fair king. We never knew of fear or sadness. And then one day the sky fell. My father had a younger brother. His name was the Lord of Infinity. It was him that caused the war, through his desire to be king.
Remember the Lord of Infinity there.
We fought for 3 long years.
He sort of looks a little bit like
My father was the last to fall.
Malcolm McDowell.
Infinity took the throne, and Valhalla was no more. It was said the sky grew black, and sunlight turned to darkness. I escaped certain death, and was taken into exile. Today I come of age. I am ready to return. We must travel to Valhalla, so I can
apparently
face
there
my
were
destiny
3 Valhalla
and destroy
games.
my father's murderer. In
Never
the name
played
of
the third
justice.
one.
In the name of Valhalla.
Now, despite being Valhalla, I don't think it had any Norse mythology sort of stuff to it. I could be wrong. The Crypt. So, yeah, it was a top-down.
There's nothing here.
sort of experience with limited kind of
I
controls.
got it.
So you play as the prince. Each of the Valhalla games,
it.
they had four quite large maps that were like puzzle boxes that you had to try and solve to get to the end of. So they were quite slow paced.
I got it.
Now I do plan on doing actually a full review
take that.
of the Valhalla games and their story, because Dad played through Valhalla 1. And I think he showed me like the ending, the key cutscenes and stuff when he defeats Infinity and that. But the game he sat me down and we played together from start to finish was Valhalla Before the War. And that's the one that stuck with me. So I'm not going to piss around too long on this one. Simply because for me it's the less interesting of the two. They're still sort of trying to find their feet.
It's a skull.
Bring me blood.
Yeah, so you go through the map, you try and solve puzzles, gather keys. The key I've got doesn't work there. Open more doors. Basically, puzzle box, escape the room type shit, right? And like I said, there's 4 levels. Save, load. What's R? Is that restart, maybe? That's restart. Okay. Now the thing that I remember particularly about Valhalla 1, opposed to the second one, was simply the fact. Now again, you could save this one, so it did have a save feature. But if you had the code, you could skip to level 2 or 3. Bye! There we go. And that's how the prince met his end in Valhalla. Right, so we're going to go back now. I do need to quickly restart the game, or restart the console. There we go. There we go. So, if we go back here... Oh. No, it's... V. Valhalla Before the War. That's the one that we want. Definitely the one that we want. So sometimes the stick in the A500 gets itself a little bit confused. Now, we do have this slight issue kind of going on. Give me a second. I did manage to fix this last night. This seems to happen on particularly Before the War. Advanced television settings. System information. And display options. Fix size. There we go. That makes it nice and central. So for some reason, when I played this on Amiga Game Selector, it was fine, but when I booted it up from the stick, it was weirdly the top of the screen was cut off, which you needed because that was where the inventory was. Now, the opening cutscene of Valhalla before the war, I have seen countless times as a kid. It was like one of my favourites. Pedal harder! You can do it! There we go. Right. I do actually have the legit manual for Valhalla, both Valhalla games currently up in my loft. But I have downloaded the PDF. I also, in preparation of the screen, even have the walkthrough kind of here, so we might be able to play a little bit of it. Again, I think it was the music, the vibes, the angry face of infinity staring out at you that stuck with me for this one.
I am the Lord of Infinity. I have a sad story to tell. I know, you've heard it all before. Anyway, this castle is my home. I live here with Garamond.
God damn it,
My
Garamond.
brother, Garamond, is king. He rules over Valhalla, and everybody loves him. Now, there's been a lot of rumors flying around that I'm egotistical, vindictive, and lacking in compassion. But that's not entirely true. I can cry, just like the next man. Anyway, I hate to admit this, but I need your help. I've been stuck in my quarters for 2 weeks now, but I've come up with a plan. I think it's about time to change my destiny and make Valhalla a more interesting place to live in.
Again, as a child, I think the characterization of Infinity was just perfect there. And that really kind of stuck with me. Again, I love how his character design completely changes from Valhalla 1. Like, he's now bald. But he has this kind of small little ponytail right at the back as well. The servant hall. Huh? So, this is where we begin. Again, very similar. Now, the whole thing is sort of reminds me of, like, a medieval tapestry. Which is what I loved. Oh.
I'm confused.
Aren't we all, Infinity? Aren't we all? So, there's a few
I've got it.
quality of life upgrades from Valhalla 1, such as a map, which is very helpful. So you can actually see where we are and actually, right, okay, so this is where I'm going, what I need to do. Now, how you're meant to get out of this without a guide or a walkthrough, I have no idea. Bear in mind, this is pre-internet. So, we come back here eventually. I know this is the end of the level. Now,
I am Infinity.
so you pick that up so that you do say your own name at some
I've
point.
got it.
Now, there are other NPCs about, but they don't move, they don't static, and they all stare directly up at the ceiling.
It's the wizard.
No way, Infinity.
Yeah, so he tells us resolutely to fuck off. Now, there is a slight problem in that... Ow. We do actually have a health bar, and we can't get over the hot coals. Now, I love how this is he said I've been confined to my servant's quarters for 2 weeks now. So is this his servant's quarters? Has he basically been stuck here this entire time with the mage, just sort of looking at him like, what the fuck? So what you've got to do in order to get over that is you go here, this tile,
Incredible.
you open this,
Potion of Faith.
Potion of Faith. I'm going to grab that.
I've got it.
Now, presumably you can soft lock yourself right at the very beginning if you use the potion and don't instantly walk across the fire. So as you can see, that little bar goes up on the left-hand
Tastes
side.
horrible.
And then you can walk safely across. There we go. And that brings us to this side. So there's a thing there.
Vaseline.
Why there's a puddle of Vaseline on the floor? Don't ask me. Especially in medieval times.
I've got it.
Did they have Vaseline in your medieval? Oh, no, it's the wrong one.
Weighing scales.
So again, as a 4 or 5 year old, I used to just wander through the map. Didn't really know what I was
Hate
doing.
this castle.
But the subtle background ambience again stuck with me.
I've got it.
What was that? That's a cake tin, I know that. I know you've got to bake a cake really early
Soggy
on.
clay.
Soggy clay.
It's an oracle.
Bring me luck.
Yeah, so a bit like Valhalla 1, you come across these skulls slash
I've got
oracles. Don't know why he looks a bit more like a robot. And that's part of the puzzle.
It's a book. I've got it.
Now, I do remember the snail racing. Right, the wizard sits at the passageway that leads from the servant halls. He has taken it upon himself to guard the entrance to the dungeons. The other courtiers say that he is mad. This may be true, but he is also very powerful and is only in something to his own vulnerable
It's
to
the wizard.
vulnerable to his own magic. Right, interesting. So yeah, I know you rig the snail racing somehow. There's a potion of stamina. Oh, damn it. Again, we played this on a joystick, I know that.
I've got it.
I mean, the controls are very simple. It's just action button and left, right, select. Oh, hello.
It's the carpenter.
I've a gift for the king.
Right. I can't get in that way.
Lee, here is your reminder. Take antihistamine. Lee, here is your reminder. Take antihistamine.
I might do like a late night stream or something and try and, with the walkthrough, properly go through before the war. That's why I printed out the walkthrough for it.
It's a book.
Ah, damn it.
I'm confused.
So yeah, if it was just...
I've got it.
If it was just those 25 games on the Amiga A500 Mini, I wouldn't have bothered. But the big thing is the fact that you can put your own games on. Because the thing is, I love my dad's old Amiga, and it's a proper museum piece, especially with the collection of games that he had for it. Getting it to play in a modern day setup is just impractical. The Amiga was huge. It was like honestly that size. It was noisy, and you also need a period accurate monitor or TV in order to play it properly as well. The A500 lets you have a simulated experience of what the Amiga was, and when my own kids finally grace this world, I'm sure I'll be taking them through on the Mini and show them my intro to gaming.
The king's cook.
Go away, I'm sleeping.
Right, I didn't read that book.
There's nothing here.
Right, is this the...
It's an oven.
I don't know, honey, are you there? Are you still here?
It's an oven.
It's an oven. Oven. Oh! I keep fighting with the missus over that, right? Oven is spelt with an O at the beginning. O, not a U. It's not oven. Or oven. Is it oven? She's going to slag me off so much for that later.
Okay, now what?
Right.
I can't take it.
That's okay. Right. I think we've got the flour.
It's flour.
Flour!
Okay, now what?
Presumably the egg as well.
Okay, now what? It's a cake tin. I can't take it. Think it's stew.
Right. What was this?
I hate this castle.
That's where the Vaseline and stuff is. Right. So we're north at that point.
It looks like glass.
Oh shit.
Nothing happened. I'm not strong enough.
Okay, so let's have a quick look at the walkthrough. Right, turn right, floor tile, you pick up the I am infinity, hot coals, potion of faith, we've done that. Go to the scales, pick up the bowl next to them, pull the lever, I've done all that. Pick up the egg, go to the oven, put the bowl on the oven, put the egg in the bowl, find the jigsaw and the sander and pull the lever on the wall. Hold on. And put the put the bowl on the oven and put the egg into the bowl. Find the jigsaw and the sander and pull the lever on the wall. Pick up the chest key from the plant. Go right. Keep walking until you find the snail racing board. Go right. And now I did see where that was. You can't go that way. That's the oracle. yeah, so you find the picture of the king. You use it to create the jigsaw piece that opens that. Anyway, I will play through Infinity properly and do a more concise video that's not just an hour of me wandering around lost. There's only one more. I just maybe want to see if I can find the name of it, because I remember Dad had it on a demo disc. I never owned the full game. Shit. Damn it. Can't type for shit at the moment. That was it. Super Frog. Super Frog. Do we have Super Frog? Yeah, the original SimCity and Populous and all that were on the Amiga as well. Castlevania, that was on here. A lot beginning with S. The digital version, we looked at Space Crusade. There was also Hero Quest, although again I never owned Hero Quest. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Oh, apparently that's on here. Where's Super Frog? Superman. Super Frog. Yeah, I remember this on a demo disc. Again, Team 17, that name again. They had a really diverse and insane back catalogue. I actually still can't believe they're still going today. I've told this story on stream before, but we found a box of old floppy disks at the college. One of the younger students asked why I 3D printed the save icon. Make your way through the magic woods and find the location of the golden key. Nice and simple. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is actually really fast. Wow. Okay, so this feels very like it's trying to be Sonic the Hedgehog. But it's kind of fast-paced. Gotta go fast sort of attitude. Slash friendly woodland creatures. Again, it's no Legend of Lomax. Damn it. I ran into the spike sideways. Why is he not letting us go? Or did we not find the golden key? Is that the problem? Okay. Alright, game over. Oh well. Like I said, I do remember that game vaguely in a demo disc somewhere. Other ones we're looking at. Well, while we're here, and I think this one's for you, Dad. We had a look at Alien Breed earlier. So of course we have to look at... Alien Breed actually came with the system, but we kind of need to have a look at Alien Breed 2. I think there was a third one. I know there was a 3D one. I'm not talking about that. The 3D one's just a knockoff Doom. And again, it came with the A500, but it's a bit meh. But the aliens in Alien Breed 2, they sort of distinguish themselves a little bit more from like the Ridley Scott. They did do another set of Alien Breed games for the PC, but again, they are no way the same amount of charm as the Amiga games. There we go. I remember that alien kind of staring back at me. The horror continues. Again, there was something about that kind of like sci-fi art at the time. So same sort of deal as the first Alien Breed, only now there's choppers. And I don't understand why the choppers can run you over. Presumably they're in the sky. Can't go that way. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'd like to at least get to some aliens. For fuck's sake. Right. Yeah, I think if I'm going to sincerely try and play any games on the A500, I might need to invest in the proper joypad, or play them on PC with an Xbox controller. I mean, I'm so thankful that there's a version that plays.
One has been eliminated.
Oh, fuck off. Right, I'm gonna try that again, just because I want to get to the bloody aliens, not just be run over by helicopters. He says, instantly getting run over by a helicopter. Right. So yeah, my dad, his joystick with this big, chunky motherfucker that looks like a proper, like, airline pilot's. And I still remember the kind of crunchy feel of it. Its controller's a bit squishy. Feels like one of those kind of knockoff, sort of Temu Alibaba sort of deals. Not too well. Damn it. What's up here? London Zone 2. Oh, there was maybe one more game. One more game worth playing tonight, actually. I forgot all about it. But maybe this was the game, now that I think about it, that I played the most when I was a kid. Because it was one of the few that was at my level. And I mean, compared to a lot of the games on the Amiga, it was by no means any sort of technical marvel, but I loved it. I think it was this one. Is this the one that I remember? Well, to be fair, it's 1988. I mean, a lot of the other games are, 1992 or 1994. So, pull the trigger to set. Where's... Let's pause the game.
Good fog standing by.
Oh shit. What happened there? It crashed. Oh, it crashed! Right, try it one more time. If it doesn't work this time. Because it was very simple. They only had one level, and it was going up against the Death Star. So, but with increasing levels of complexity. So you would fight off some TIE fighters, you would eventually go into the trench of the Death Star, you'd dodge and blow up a few turrets, and then key F1 enables, yeah, okay. And then when you got to the end, you'd fire your torpedo and you'd hear Obi-Wan go, "Use the Force, Luke." And then Han Solo would come in on the Millennium Falcon. So, there is a control working on the joystick. So none of the buttons on there are working. Did say F1 for mouse, but the mouse doesn't seem to be working either. So this might be another one I'd have to emulate on the PC, but yeah, I played
Good fog standing by.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Easy. Oh yeah, here. Oh god. I remember this. Yes. So you'd have to shoot down the TIE fighter shooting you. Of course, we used to play games like Wing Commander, and I never got into it, but I really want to try it. Privateer, Dad was really into that. Although that would then go on to be
Look at the size of that thing.
the dude who was doing Star Citizen. So yeah, Privateer was sort of... Well, Elite is actually on here, like the first Elite game. I played a lot of Elite Dangerous. Ow. Okay. Right up to that.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Ooh. Oh, I remember that.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
And then it would just repeat. So like I said, it was only one level, but I played the shit out of this as a kid. Oh, that brings back memories. Of course, give that to a kid nowadays and be like, what the hell is this? Why am I fighting punctuation? Oh. There's maybe one more to finish up on, I think. I was never very good at this other one. Right. Okay, one more time. Oh, we can blow up one more cheeky Death Star. Alright, what's going on here? Oh, it's like turrets. So yeah, when we moved to PC, Dad bought me a lot of the like Rebel Assault games. And TIE Fighter and X-Wing. The spiritual successor, which was Star Wars Squadron, which was actually really good, especially on VR. Actually, I got properly into that for a while. I have a feeling the Force is not going to be enough. And done. Again, I was actually quite good at that as a kid. Right. Final one. Just for the music. A true classic. Even my granddad knew about this one because it was on many of the arcades. Rainbow Island. One button joystick control. Again, this is what I grew up with. Not your Marios, not your Sonic the Hedgehogs. All the other kids in school had their Segas and their Nintendos. This is what I had. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Oh. Did I just like instantly die? Ah. I know Yahtzee and Stephanie Sterling, they had like Amigas, and they talked about Dizzy World of Adventure. I know that's on here. I've never actually played that, and it's like that thing where that's not one I have nostalgia for. So probably, like someone who didn't grow up with these games, it means nothing to them. Oh, that looks important. That looks very important, actually. Oh shit. Alright, alright. Okay. I love how this little guy kind of reminds me of Cartman. This is maybe before he turned evil. Oh shit, I'm back here. Yeah, I think this would be kind of easier with a joystick. Fuck's sake. That's my game over. Ah well. Oh well. I'm sure there's a few more classics on here that I can think of. There was one really dark game that I remember playing. And again, it was the artwork that really stood out to me, but I can't remember the name of it. If I ever come across it, it's probably on here somewhere. But like I said, there's about 14,000 games. 1,400 games, not 14,000 games. 1,400 games on that stick, so it's probably one of them, you would think. I'm still gutted that Timekeepers isn't on there. If I can get a working copy of Timekeepers, I would play the shit out of that one, because I really liked that. Other than that, was there any other games that really jumped out that I played? They were the main ones. Again, it was the 500 we had. They would iterate and come out with the Amiga 600 and then the Amiga 1200, which this can play, but our original Amiga couldn't. So I remember a friend of mine, he had the 600, and there were a bunch of games he had that he could play on his that we couldn't play on ours. But yeah, oh, I remember those one time because like sockets in the back of the old CRT TVs were so limited in a thing. In order to get the Amiga working, you'd have to plug it in, and then you'd have to go around the back of the TV and swap the cables over if you wanted to get it to work. And my mother had a very expensive statue, an Art Nouveau sort of lady smoking, and 6-year-old me knocked it over and shattered it. Now, I've since looked up the statue. It's worth thousands now. It was a collectible. I wanted to rebuy it for Mum as an adult, but it's a little out of my price range, to be honest. But I remember the scolding I got for that one. Jesus. But yeah, so, and this is a link to gaming that I share with my dad. That although me and my sister have a love of games, and she connected with gaming and with Dad in a later period of gaming when we really got into Halo, the Xboxes, PC gaming, that sort of thing. I would then go on to discover RPGs. The Amiga was a special time that I was too young to play fully and appreciate fully in terms of as a player, but watching Dad is where I had a love of games. I remember seeing a really wanky meme on social media where it was like, kids don't remember their dads who sit and play games all day. No, I do, because Dad played them with me, and I'd rather do that than go out and play football or all that. I mean, each to their own. We all have our traditions handed down, but this was ours. And I keep the spirit alive in very much my own way. So the Amiga will always hold a very special place in my heart. And whether my own kids like it or not, they will be subjected to this. And even though it would just be a pain to get the old Amiga working properly, even if it's a bit spongy, the controller, even if it's a bit dodgy, the fact that the A500 looks like the original Amiga, plays on modern systems, and I can at least boot up the first level of many of these games. It takes me back, and again, the philosophy in game design that changes. This really was the frontier of gaming, the kind of anarchic punk era of bedroom coders, before we got to the AAA industry slop of today. So yeah, some of these are absolute classics, and if you never had the chance to play them, you may not play them for more than an hour or two, if that, but some of the music is truly outstanding. Some of the art is particularly. A couple of point-and-click adventures that are on here that I played on PC, I wouldn't play on the Amiga, were Beneath a Steel Sky. I've got that on GOG, and again, the PC version's voiced, so being a dyslexic child, that was a big thing. But Beneath a Steel Sky really stuck with me. That was one of my early games I played with Dad. And it was Beneath a Steel Sky, and Dark Seed, which was... In fact, I could maybe even boot up Dark Seed just very quickly, because Dark Seed was... before your likes of Scorn, I think Dark Seed was... yeah, here we go, Dark Seed. The first game that heavily used and was licensed by H.R. Geiger. So, it's got that very dark, broody sort of aesthetic to it. And I think that's something that the 16-bit era did so well, that the 8-bit era wasn't quite there, and the 8-bit era was before my time. I'm sure there's many kind of younger folk looking at this going, I couldn't play these games, they're too basic. I felt like that when I played the NES for the first time. But the 16-bit era, that to me was certainly one of the heights of video game music, I think. You know, you hear, 8-bit tracks, but no, 16-bit tracks. There was just something so evocative about this art style. So, 1992. I would have been 4 when this came out. Again, Jesus Christ, can you imagine a 4-year-old seeing that? No wonder I'm so fucked up. But yeah, it was those early horror / late at night when I should have been in bed, looking through the crack in the living room door, seeing Dad playing these games that sparked that morbid curiosity in me. So, well, if you did join me at any point during the stream, or you're discovering it at a later date, I hope this trip down memory lane was impactful for you as it was for me. So, I think it's time that the A500 went back in its box. I'll break it out again at some point when I next feel nostalgic. But there we go. So, streaming wise, I will be back again tomorrow on YindyPlayZ, the Twitch channel. However, I will be streaming on YouTube over at YindyPlayZ, and we'll be building a bit more Emperor's Children for my hobby hangout stream. So that's from 6 to 9 tomorrow over at YindyPlayZ and YindyPlayZ, the Twitch channel. If you haven't already, check out the little short teaser that I put out for episode 13 of Halfwits, dropping this Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm working on some scripts, and we'll get some Yindy tips and tricks for 4 Halfwits out later as well. Thank you ever so much for joining me, folks. I am going to go finish the altars. Getting back to some modern gaming. The Altars, really good game. Really worth talking about. Really different. Oh my god, it's stressful. And here's the thing. I know it's meant to be stressful. It's meant to be one of those games that you can never get a perfect run. There's even a point in it where one of your altars turns around and says, of all the different versions of us, none of us are captains or officers. We were never destined to be a captain or, you know, a Jean-Luc Picard sorting everyone's shit out. You're desperately, hopelessly trying to survive if people are fighting and stressful situations, and there's been several times I've almost put the controller down and gone, I just need to restart the altars because I've totally fucked up my save. But then a voice at the back of my head went, no, that's the intended experience. And when you realise this is from the same makers as This War of Mine, the desperate survival of a hopeless situation where you're just trying to solve the direct problem in front of you in order to buy yourself tomorrow. Okay, I never got round to building the gym, or I never got round to like fulfilling all the altar's needs and little side quests, but I survived, and that's what the altars is ultimately about. So I think I'm at the final stretch. I think I've just done the last boss. I'm like 3 days away from the final sunset, so I'll probably be wrapping that up within the next hour, I think. But yeah, it's definitely a game worth playing, but just beware, if you don't like stressful management games, this game is perfectly designed to put you in the mindset of John Jolski trying to keep his shit together as everything is on fire around him. It is stressful that way, but again, I can't lie, the developers did a fantastic job of that ludonarrative sort of integration, but a stressful game is still a stressful game. I can only play it in chunks, so I hope to knock that one off tonight. But enough rambling from me. So, hope you all have a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.
Bees and shadow nights, we're keeping those childhood sparks alive. YindyPlayZ, it's retro to the core, kicking down that floppy disk door. Time travel style through circuits and sparks, lighting up the stream with digital hearts. YindyPlayZ, where legends play, the A500 live today. So press start and don't delay. It's YindyPlayZ, we're on our way. past, relive the gold, where every game has a story told. It's not just play, it's history made.